Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, Aida Cruise Line in Germany is getting ready to set sail. And they just had some crew members test positive that they were bringing into the ship. But is this bad news or is it good news? So Aida Cruise Line is planning in August to set sail with 3 cruise ships in Germany on various short 3 and 4 and 5 day cruises. The ships are fairly large. They just flew in 750 Filipino workers on 3 different airplanes for these ships. Now they tested those workers in their home countries before they were flown out. They all tested negative. Then they tested them again when they arrived here before getting on the ship, and they tested negative again. Then they got on the ships, and 10 crew members on one of the ships have tested positive now and were immediately isolated from the rest of the crew. Now there are 10 members. 9 of them show 0 symptoms whatsoever, and 1 of them shows very, very mild symptoms, very, very mild runny nose kind of situation. So it's not a severe, hard to breathe cases or anything like that. So they've been isolated and they are not planning on changing their sail dates in August as of right now. Everything's, they say, what this does, they said, is it proves that the safety protocols and the testing that they have is working, that they were able to find and isolate immediately, even though people had tested negative twice before getting to the ship. So, and they said all crew members again will once again be tested in roughly every 3 or 4 days. And so this is a good sign that their safety protocols are working, while others are saying, well, no, but yep, the virus still got on the ships. Well, okay, but the virus still got in our hospitals. The virus still got in our movie theaters. The virus still got in our bars. The virus still got in our shopping centers. The virus is not going away. It's not going to disappear. It's all about what we do with it now. We are not curing this until we have some sort of vaccine or some sort of thing happens in the world. This will be with us forever until something happens. So it's not about getting the numbers down to 0. It's about coping with them while they're here and mitigating any kind of possible damage that happens. As you know, in the original times when this first all started, they just immediately quarantined the ship and just kept everybody together, and there was no separation yet. And then when they did started separating, they still had crew members in the same cabins, etc., and serving food to everybody. None of that is happening now. Immediately, protocols jumped into place, and they are isolated in their own cabins. They are isolated from the rest of the crew. Their food is brought to them, left at the door. They pick it up, that sort of thing. So it's much, much more controlled. So we will keep an eye on this to see if anything else happens. Do more people all of a sudden start to spread and see what happens? But one of the things I like to point out in this kind of situation, so we have probably like the worst case scenario right now for a cruise line trying to start up. They tested their crew members, they tested negative, and then all of a sudden they're on the ship and 10 of them got tested positive. That's not great news at all. But they were found, they were traced, they were quarantined, and they're being taken care of. My question is, are the airlines doing the exact same thing? Because these crew members who just tested positive just flew in a few days earlier, so there should be tracing and be in contact with anybody else, including the staff on the plane, the stewards, the stewardesses, the captains, people who clean the plane, all those people should be being notified that this is a possibility now, and I'm gonna guess that none of that is happening. I'm gonna guess that none of that is happening from the airline's point of view, but it has happened with the cruise line's point of view. So I will guarantee you, you will see a ton of articles that'll come out that'll say, crew members test positive as cruise line tries to start up. Blah, 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 blah. This isn't working, and this just proves that ships aren't safe, etc., etc., etc. And in those articles, not one article will mention the fact that they, other than they just flew on a plane, about anything that's happening from the airline's side of view. And that's where you're going to see the skewer towards the cruise ship when it comes to the virus compared to every other aspect of travel in the world. So yeah, I just find it funny because I guarantee you, you're not going to see any articles from the airline saying 10 passengers tested positive from this airline and they are checking with all the other people. You'll never see it. I guarantee you. Well, let me know what you guys think. Is this good news? Does that prove that it's actually working? I mean, we're not going to stop this ever. Ever, unless we lock people in a room for 30 days and then, put them in a plastic bubble and bring them on the ship one at a time before getting there. That's the only way you're ever not going to get 100% something on the ship. So is this good news? Does that show that protocols do work, that they actually have procedures in place to catch this now? And stop the spread immediately before it gets out of hand? Does that give you more confidence? I mean, these ships are large. They hold 2,600 to 2,900 passengers. They're not the little cruise ships that have been sailing so far. They're not the 400 passenger cruise ships and the 500 passenger cruise ships that you see sailing in Norway right now. These cruise ships are much larger, hold a lot of people, have a lot of crew members, and it looks like their safety protocols, as of this point, seem to have worked. Let's see what happens during the next testing and the next testing after that, and if the ship actually sets sail when it's scheduled to do so. I hope it works out. It's a good sign, but again, you're going to see the focus on the crew members testing positive, and you're not going to see anything mentioned about the travel or anything like that on how they got there or the hotels they stayed at or anything like that. It'll all be focused on the cruise lines. Let me know, how do you guys feel about it? Make you feel better, worse, indifferent? Doesn't matter. We're not sailing here in the United States forever. just let me know. All right. I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world, hit that subscribe button. Till next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.